Hey everybody, welcome back to another great episode of the Wedding Film School Show. My name is Jared Haskell, here again with Mr. Jason McCutcheon. Before I send it over to Jay, I just want to say, because we always do this at the very end, we are going to provide some resources for you guys. Make sure you're going to weddingfilm.school/resources. There's a worksheet on there. We're going to be talking about budgeting today, and we have a budgeting worksheet on there. It's free. You should download it.
I'm going to update it for 2025. Okay. So if you had previously done it, it's not going to be significantly different, but it may be a few tweaks, so it might be worth looking at again.
Might be worth looking at again. And if there's an area of your business that you really struggle in, coaching sessions are also available right on weddingfilm.school. You can sign up for Jason. You can sign up for myself. I would probably recommend Jason for this one because he does our budgeting. So I would pawn everyone off on you, not because I don't want to talk to people.
As if I'm so great at it.
I think you're great at it. I would put you at like the top 2% of the wedding industry at budgeting, even though you're like, yeah.
I like wasting money. That's the problem with me.
Well, you're good at finances in terms of keeping track of things and knowing where to spend it and how it interacts with your business. But yeah, you do like to spend money, and I like to spend money. So we're a really bad duo when it comes to these things.
Yeah.
But let's hop into it though, Jay. Today we're going to be talking about budgeting for your wedding film business. I'll let you kick it off.
Yeah. So it's budgeting season. That's what I consider to be October, November, December. And I'm going to say something that is a business thing, Jared, that probably a lot of your fiscal year, which is not the same as the actual year, you could start it whenever you want.
Well, describe that.
So essentially it's a 12-month period where you run your numbers.
Yep.
And it's how you do, so you could do it from the beginning of shooting to the end of 12 months from there. For us, the reason I bring it up is, for all intents and purposes for this discussion, we're pretty much going to be referring to our fiscal year, which is also the natural year. We go from January to December.
We're all natural on the Wedding Film School Show. Yeah.
But if you chose to do it differently and that benefits your business, guess what? You could do June to June if you feel like
Sure.
it. So do anything you want.
What is the reason why we do it at this time of year? As opposed to maybe January, February, March, maybe when
for
we have
us,
a little bit
no
more time.
reason. It's just what I will tell you this: if you do a good job with it, it's hard to switch, and we have a big track record, and it would mess all our data up. But
fine,
if you've done a bad job with it and you haven't done it at all, the reason I bring up the fiscal year is I think it would be better for you to start now rather than wait another year.
I think it's better for people to do it now because you want to be planning for the next year.
Yes.
And we're having a budgeting discussion today. That's why we're talking about it today. Yes. We're in the money mood right now. So I think it's a good thing to be like, hey, this is what we did this last year. This is what we're trying to do in the future. Because once you flip over to 2026, the next year, there's your tax implications. You can strategize a little bit more, I think, at this part of the year. Right?
Yeah. So and also to that point, it's I guess you could break it up into smaller periods and do semi or biannually and quarterly, and all that stuff needs to be part of it anyway. I think it's just 12 months is just how people do it, and 12 months is a good amount of time
for a wedding business.
12 months is great. So
you're not recording your quarterly profits. You don't have quarters. You don't have to go in front of a board. You don't have to do all that kind of crap like a big company would.
No, they don't. Yeah, they're not quarterly deciding should I pay our shareholders money.
Yep.
Although you should do that, and we can talk. I guess we could talk about that another time or whatever. Actually, you go back and listen to our podcast with Mike from Profit First, and you can hear about giving yourself distributions.
You can heard about it.
But in general. Yes, that's what a fiscal year is. And what we're talking about is not just budgeting, because budgeting is it's just a tool. I do a lot of budgeting, and a lot of people are like, your budget, no, you can just overspend. It's not morally wrong to pick a category in your budget and double the investment in it. Or whatever, waste money. We're not trying to we're not Dave Ramsey people. Sorry.
We're anti-Dave Ramsey people.
I'm a little bit anti-Dave Ramsey.
Me too. When it comes to a business, 100%.
I always say Dave Ramsey's if you have a addiction, if you have financial problems in your life,
Yes.
you might need to do that. So I'm not. That's why I'm not actually anti
The
Dave
same
Ramsey
for personal finances.
for personal finances, and not everyone should do it. But for a business, Dave is kind of tough because it's like, well, yeah, of course you're always having this cash because you're already rich, bro. You're literally a baby boomer who's already rich.
Yeah. Don't use a credit card, like all this
Stuff that
Yeah.
Regardless, that being said, it is very important to have a profit. And so when we talk about budgeting today, everything we're saying is about, even if it's just a 3-year window, like maybe not every year you have a profit, and that's okay. But if you look over 3 years and you run your numbers over 3 years and you are in the red as a business, like you're making less money than you take in is really what it is. Stop me, by the way, if I'm moving too fast or using any terminology or anything. But
yeah, listener, stop him. Stop him.
Jared has to embody the listener.
Yeah.
But
so I'll just say too, because you said something, and I think it could be misinterpreted. Like when they say, maybe you don't take a profit, but you want to take profit. A lot of people will be like, well, my accountant says we don't want to have profit ever. There's a difference in what you're saying compared to that. You're saying you want to plan for profit and plan how you're going to spend it. So maybe at the end of the fiscal year, you don't show a profit, but you want to have profit in general.
I
correct?
think your point of a business is to have extra money.
Yes.
That's the whole
But
point.
when you carry that money over into the next fiscal year, you will be taxed heavily.
But all that is just lying to the government or hiding things or
Totally.
tricking things or being smart
Lying
with
to
how
the
you
government. Being smart with your taxes.
being smart. Like, by the way, we're not talking about any of that.
It's the way it's structured. Yeah, we're not
Yes.
talking about that.
So-
But that's a factor.
But at the end of the day, too, like nobody, like if you don't have money, you can't have a business. So it's like,
Sure.
like taxes are bad, but taxes are good if every time you pay your taxes, you're thinking in your head like, I made a lot of money.
Yeah.
Like that's how I want you to view taxes to help yourself not be so furious about it.
Yeah.
Is that like, if you know who doesn't pay taxes? People who don't make any money.
Sure.
So you don't want that. Like you want your business to have the pressure of taxation. And if you never are paying taxes, you're not making money.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you need to, that actually is a little canary in the coal mine,
Mm-hmm.
is if every year you get money back from the government, you're not making that much money.
Mm-hmm.
so it's like, and it's like, oh, big corporations. Yeah. Big corporations also can lose tons of money that they can write off. They can like build things for billions of dollars and go, look, we lost that money.
Yep.
Well, you can't do that.
Yep.
And so we'll get into a little of that. But regardless, I think the biggest thing with budgeting, because I've kind of laid the groundwork, I want you to start viewing your business a little more emotionally in a holistic way, not the art you're making, the whole thing. And I think when you view finances as emotional, it will help you understand why you struggle with finances. Like when you are looking at a business and you're like when I say, oh, if you're not paying taxes, you're not making that much money. Some of you guys react negatively to that because what you're hearing me saying is you're a failure. That's emotional. Like an emotional framework of your finances, like what the finance is, what your business says about you. And I think a lot of the things that people do, the choices that solopreneurs are making about their businesses are much more emotional decisions than they are business decisions.
Yes.
And I think the reason for that is because people imagine that when they think about finances that it's not emotional and that their art is emotional. But in reality, it's all emotional.
Yeah.
You're a human being.
And the way that plays out, and I think this is a way that a lot of filmmakers out there can relate to this, is like you go into the year, you're like, I have my camera, I have my gear, I'm ready to go. And then Sony drops a new camera. And you go, oh, I think I have to buy that in order to be a viable business. So you make the emotional decision on a whim
or
to purchase.
You
right?
see, yeah.
Instead of planning ahead of time and having an actual strategy of like
Sony releases that camera.
Yeah.
You see, you go watch your favorite wedding filmmaker, and then they go, oh, this shoot has been so much easier because of my partnership with Sony.
Mm-hmm.
And then they show you the Sony, and then you look at the footage, you go, oh my God, this is so great.
Everyone's going to start killing me. They're going to lap me unless I buy this camera.
Yeah. The fear that comes with it.
That's emotional.
That's emotional.
Yes.
And so it's even emotional to say, which we'll talk about some emotions we felt, because we make these decisions. And I'm not saying it's bad. It's just like acknowledging that it's emotional is like that feeling you feel when you look at someone's work and it looks better than yours.
Mm-hmm.
That's emotional.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also emotional, the fear you have where it's like, if everyone sees their work, they're going to book them and not me.
Mm-hmm.
I need that camera so I can prevent that situation from happening. That's all emotional.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no proof that that's going to happen.
Yeah.
I think you're making a pretty not ridiculous assessment. Emotions are not bad. When I say emotional, I don't ever mean bad.
Mm-hmm.
I just mean,
well, and it can be not even, we're talking about like fear-based emotion, like, oh, they're going to crush
yeah,
it.
it could be exciting.
I'm excited to get a new camera and produce better work. Like,
but hold on me with this fear
Okay,
part because the truth about that other person was not, they have a nice camera. That's true. Yeah, sure. But they had a sick wedding. Like, that's why Sony called them for the collab, because they're already shooting the best looking content.
Yeah.
And they're already good at what they do. They've already very experienced. They know things that you don't know. That's why they can afford the camera.
Mm-hmm.
They can afford the camera because they have so much money for being so good at what they do, or so good at networking, or so good at a bunch of other things.
Yeah.
For them to have that camera, it's a good financial decision, is my point. Or not even a financial decision at all. And I'm not bragging. I'm telling all of you guys, for me and Jared, buying 4 of the newest cameras is not, we can do that anytime we want.
Mm-hmm.
So for us, it's not a financial decision, really, to buy 4 cameras and do this. We just do it because we want to do it. We feel like it's a good idea, whatever. We're not in the same situation as some of you.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, the emotional, like the actual decision we're making is not the same as the decision that you're making.
Mm-hmm.
The decision that some people are making is, should I spend 20% of my gross revenue on new equipment? For me and Jared, that same investment is 1% of our gross revenue.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, you have to like really understand that like any decision you're about to make about your business or your art is an emotional decision. Finances are involved. And all that really matters, and why budgeting is so important, is it helps you track your choices, create data points to evaluate, was I right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then review your previous choices and allow them to inform your current choices. That's not emotional.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, in the middle of the emotional choices, the budgeting and the tracking is what will help like ground you in reality. But you need those emotional like catalysts sometimes to make those choices. And so I'm not, neither are bad, both are good. I say all that to say, everyone out there who's making financial choices about your business is not necessarily making, and the problem is, if you're making a decision about what we're going to talk about today, which is like essentially ROI, right? Like, I'm budgeting this, and by spending this money, it's going to help me and not hurt me.
Is it going to make me money?
Yeah, is it going to make me money? Yep. All that. You don't know for a while. And you're not going to necessarily know today. So budgeting is not about like trying to tell the future.
Yeah. Budgeting
is about creating a framework so that you can mess around with your money, try things that are going to fail and not collapse. Because every year you need to be investing in your business, and a lot of it's not going to work. And if every year you're only doing things that work, my guess would be you're not trying hard enough. You're not growing.
Yeah.
And so like, this is a big part of growing, is taking financial risks, but don't do it until you actually get a discipline of reading your numbers, understanding your numbers. That's my overall entire premise.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's a good lesson to be learned, because, I mean, we say this as a business that is a large wedding film studio, but we weren't always that way.
No.
We had to make decisions very similar to, a lot of solopreneurs when we first started. Like, we had to make the decision.
They were massively risky. Like,
Yeah.
like when we were like,
I used to be a part-time person for our company. Like, I had to work at TGI Fridays as a bartender when we first started.
But even
and I was going to school.
when we were making
And it was-
$80K revenue
We
and
invested
dropping
a lot of that.
$20K in gear, that's
Yeah.
could be perceived to be a very stupid decision.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, now we can talk about how we made the decision, but at the end of the day, like, it was a big risk.
Yeah.
And like, I credit a lot of our growth around taking big swings. And I do think this is a negative message that a lot of people kick off is like, I would call it like idealist financing, like totally risk averse financing. That is the opposite of entrepreneurship. So like, you're telling me like the entire point of your finances is to spend no money. That's not, that will be a safe, stable thing. And at some point in your business stage, by the way, maybe that's what you need to do. You're like, if you're 50 years old, you're about to wind it down, Ray.
He's going to wind it down?
He'll wind it down. I mean, yeah, he's like not maybe 10 years
I think
from
when
now.
he dies.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows with
When
Ray?
he's 80 years
But
old.
regardless, it's like Ray is not trying to become the next big thing. He's not in that stage of his career, so his thing is about like he's definitely going to play it safer with his finances. Maybe,
Although, I mean,
maybe not.
I feel like Ray is still pushing it.
Well, he's pushing it. He's trying. I'm not saying that's not trying hard in your business. I'm
Yeah.
saying you're not going to be like, dang, I need to do this to get seen, to get known. Hopefully, like, oh, you're like, you know, when you're hungry, like when you're starting your business, like it's all on the line. Every year you could go out of business. And so every year you better like, the point is not to be, in my opinion, when you're first starting a business, the point is not to be profitable. The point is to grow. I think after year 5, the point is to be profitable.
Yeah.
Like you'll know if you have a real business by year 5 and you need to start making these major tweaks. I can say the same with like Outpost.
Yeah.
Outpost has actually been profitable every year. That's our editing studio, guys. He's made money every year, a small amount of money, 10, 8%. And me and Jared have never taken a single dollar from that business. It has only cost me money and time.
A ton of time.
Now, it has grown every year. It's not where I want it to be. Maybe it'll never be where I want it to be. I don't know. But I know that, like, at some point, I'm going to say, hey, I've been doing this for 5 years. I haven't taken any money out of it. I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
Right? That's the decision I made. A lot of people would have quit sooner, though.
Sure.
I think it's more so like not that people don't hang on. I think people give up too fast.
Yeah.
Not that they hold on too long.
Yeah.
I think they give up on their business too fast, and the reason why is they don't have a budget.
Yeah.
So they're not going like, it's fine. I anticipated this. We're fine.
Yeah.
Like what I always say, like every time we talk about like a 3-year window, I'm like, I don't think we're going to make any money for 3 years, but maybe in year 4. Now you don't have to like that. Maybe you can't afford that, but it's like, that's what it looks like to actually run a business.
Well, and that's hard for a lot of people. It's easy for us as the business owners because I'm not in there doing the actual work. When you're in there actually, spending blood, sweat, and tears every single day for 3 years to tell someone, hey, you have to do that. I think that's a hard decision for a lot of people to make because you're not going to profit individually.
Well, and I need to make a very you brought something up that when I say profit, I don't mean you don't make any money.
Mm-hmm.
I mean like if you're the only employee of your this is an important distinction that I make. If you work for your business, you should be getting paid.
Yes.
No one should work for now. You might have to work for free because it's your own business.
Yeah.
But I don't consider that profit.
Mm-hmm.
Paying yourself is not profit.
Right. That is a very important distinction.
Paying yourself is just paying yourself for the labor. All that is like assigning value to labor.
Because if you pulled yourself out of the labor, you would replace the labor and you would just be the business owner trying to grow the company.
Or like the labor has to be done.
Yeah.
And it's an expense of the business.
Yeah.
Labor is
and if you're the solo employee of your company, you should see yourself as two different people.
Yes.
You should see yourself as the laborer, and then you should see yourself as a business owner. The laborer gets paid. And I would recommend pay that person market rate. Pay yourself market rate.
Pay yourself as little as you possibly can afford to pay yourself.
Which is what business owners do to employees anyway.
Exactly.
But then the profits go to the business owner.
Yes.
So you should try to be profitable so you're just making more money So that if you did want to just be business owner, you could replace the employee with a solid, person who can do the actual work. But then you're making money so that you're either taking it home or you're investing that money back
all
into the
the
company.
profit in your business. So like if you're hearing me like, oh, I make $200,000 and I don't take it. No, if you make $200,000 and you, I don't know, on average spend 10 grand a year on gear and 5 grand a year on marketing and $1,000 a year on software.
Yep.
And whatever it is. And you pay yourself $100,000 salary, and then you got like your $50K, not even, because you got a lot of taxes. So like $20,000, $30K sitting there. You should take that. You should pay yourself that from your distributions, from your profit. Like the profit,
You tax less on it.
your profit is yours. You need to take your profit, like 100%. I'm just making a distinction between paying for labor and paying and profiting off a business. You should want to do both. You should want to get paid for your labor and profit off your business. So one of them is like, I did work, I made money for my work. That's a guarantee. $100,000 you make gross as a business. You need to make $80K to live. Okay, you take $80K.
Yep.
Right? That's fine. But next year when you make $140,000, you take $80K. You don't take $140,000. And then you look at your business thing, you run your budget, you say, if I invest this money, if I do this, next year it's going to be $200K. So I'm not going to take that money. Or maybe you go, I don't need anything. I'm just going to pay myself an extra 30 grand this year.
Yeah.
That's all we're talking about.
Yep.
Is like the knowledge to make those decisions and how do you know this? And so I think it'd be interesting and good to talk about some decisions we've had to make over the years. And I think we should talk about when we first decided to buy enough gear to do 2 weddings in a day, right? Which we won't totally remember, but I do think we can.
I was like, oh man, memory banks now.
But I think it is like a important moment in the business because I think we can go back and think like, how little did we make? And like what an actual risk it was, and we didn't think through it. I think we should talk about some stupid things that we've bought and dumb things we spent our money on that we shouldn't have spent our money on, and kind of that issue. And then I think we should talk about what we're currently experiencing, which has been like, we have one brand that we're shifting over to new equipment, higher value equipment. And this, I think, is a relatable thing for people. We talked about it before, is like, if I have nicer cameras that look nicer, will I make more money? We're in the middle of experimenting with that and trying that, and like how that decision was made.
And also, it's a natural part of your business.
It is a natural part of your business.
You have to buy cameras because the ones that you've been using for the last 5 years are breaking down.
But I do think at the end of the day,
and are just irrelevant.
One is like, I wouldn't say that's a given, because like, it's very easy for a person to say, well, I'm still getting paid and the client doesn't know. And they might not be wrong about that. That doesn't mean, though, that they still wouldn't make more money if they had better cameras. Like, the fact that someone doesn't care doesn't mean that you won't make more money.
Sure.
So anyway, okay, think back on that. Like, budgeting, blah, 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 blah. Like, everything everyone should be doing. At that point, we weren't really doing that.
No.
So
we were like, hey, Kessler just came out with some new equipment.
Yeah, we didn't have the
Edelkrone.
tool. Yeah, we didn't. Edelkrone emailed me the other day, by the way.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, oh, you still exist?
Yeah, I was going to say, no offense to Edelkrone. I've always loved the stuff
you
that
have
they
great
put out.
products. All your products are stupid.
Yeah. Unless you want to sponsor the show.
Yeah, if you give me money.
Yeah, then your products.
Let's
talk about it.
Yeah. No, it's like, oh, do you want a weird grip that goes under your camera? No, I don't, actually. Anyway, we bought a lot of. We didn't know what we were talking about. We didn't make any money. We didn't know what we were doing. And correct me if I'm wrong here. I think when I'm thinking about like what happened that we made these decisions, I think it was because we started getting. Was it as simple as we had an opportunity to do a couple weddings? Or were we thinking I don't think we were like, we're going to double our bookings.
No, I think I don't even know. It could have even been a double booking mistake. We're like, oh, shoot, we have to do this. You go shoot one, I'll go shoot another. It was as simple as that. Maybe it wasn't even like a mistake. We were just like, well, could we do this? I think we could.
I think it was more
you
like
could go
we
shoot your
could
own
do
wedding.
2 weddings in a day.
You bring Josh. I'll do this one by myself. And it was like, it's very natural for us because we're 2 different people. I understand that's not where a lot of people are. But we were just like, I think we can do it.
But
let's just see how it works.
But here's the point. Like,
and then the first time we did it, we're like, I mean, that was the easiest thing in the world. We should just do it.
but we didn't go
We could double.
what I'm recommending to people. We didn't do what I would recommend, which would be have your budget.
Yeah.
Look at your numbers. Make a decision based on what you could afford, which is not going to tank your business.
Right.
We just did it.
Yeah.
We were like, oh, yeah, like let's work this job for this commercial company so we can buy these cameras.
Yeah.
And we bought these cameras and we didn't.
We were like, if we do 2 jobs, then we'll have to buy another camera. You know, we'll get a little bit more money. So with that extra money, we'll buy the extra camera or 2, you know, and these were like, we were like, let's just buy a couple lower tier cameras
I think we
in the
bought
line.
like a 7.
It was like a Canon 6D thing.
I thought we had a 60D.
It was a smaller
We had
frame.
a Canon 60D APS-C.
60D.
We had a 7D.
Yeah.
And I think we had 3 or 4 5D Mark
IIs.
Mark IIs.
Yeah.
But it was like, it wasn't.
We
like,
just wanted to squeeze back because then we were like, oh, when we're shooting by ourselves, it would be nice to have the extra camera or 2 anyways. Like,
yeah. So
do it.
what we're all everything we did was wrong. The way we did it was the way we did it was wrong.
Yeah.
But what we did was right.
yeah.
And so I think this is an important thing. Like you can do a good thing in a bad way or have a good result by doing a bad thing, a dumb thing.
So what are some risks that, because I think a lot of people out there are probably like,
What are they talking about?
What are we even talking about? Like, I don't want to do 2 weddings in a day. That's the risk that
No,
we
no.
took. But what are some actual risks that
Well,
you
the
can
risk,
see
the
people
actual
taking?
risk was, I think we made like 60 or 80 grand, and we were spending way too much of our money on buying these cameras.
Sure.
And if it didn't work out, we were just going to be out of luck.
Yeah.
And
we were also
didn't-
hobbyists. Like,
yeah,
we were just
basically
doing it
hobbyists.
to buy gear.
We didn't have enough leads, by the way, to justify needing that.
Yeah.
We didn't. It was a very much if you build it, they will come kind of thing, where it was like we happened to get lucky by making this choice that we did have enough demand to start justifying the choice.
Sure.
But it wasn't done in such a way where we walked away and we're like, we doubled our gear. Now we didn't get double bookings, but now we made profit off that decision. And by that, I mean, we made the money back plus,
Yeah.
you know, and I don't even know that we made profit because I didn't think I paid myself more than like $2,000 out of the first like $100K we made.
Yeah.
So it's like, I wouldn't recommend anyone do any of these things.
Yep.
But I will say, like, the reason I bring it up is to say at the beginning of your business, you don't have any data and you don't know what you're doing. And that's normal.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, it's normal to like have to take a lot of risks. And if you don't find yourself in that position of like taking risks, like I said before, I think you're playing it too safe.
Yeah. I think the risks that, you know, a average Joe videographer can make is like spend the money on the networking opportunity. Spend the money on, I want to recommend Engage because Engage isn't a one-time investment. That's really like a 5-time investment that you have to make in order to see real results, I would say. And it might not ever work. But chip away. Because I have a lot of people who are like, I just don't know if it's worth spending the money on. Same thing with the music bed, by the way. I have this conversation with people all the time. It's like, you know, is the music bed really that much better? You know, not at first. No, you shouldn't be spending $1,000 if you're only making $10K a year.
And that's more like a general advice because there's probably someone who should be.
Yeah.
There's like a person who's so good
Yes.
that if they make a film and they pick the exact right music, so it's like, I think here's the point.
It allows you to charge more money. When you get a music bed, some people kill me for this, but when you're making enough money, I think you should be spending on the music bed. You
I would
should be
agree.
spending the $800 on it because it's like clear. It's going to make your films twice as good.
Yeah.
What's
point
the
is,
risk
and the
reward?
point is not even the truth of the statement Jared's making because if you disagree and you don't agree with him, who cares?
Yeah.
The point is the concept, which is
Yes.
at some point you will start to learn the things that make you money when you do them and learn the things that don't.
Yeah.
And so I guess the initial premise is this. When Jared and I first started our business, we didn't know that if we buy more cameras, it's going to allow us to go from like $80K to $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
We had no idea what we were going to be having today. We didn't think we were going to have a podcast. We didn't know any of this. Like it's not a master plan. There's no master plan for your business. It just, you make decisions. We're more saying, based on taking all those risks, we've realized this is what you should do.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to work really hard to start collecting that data and organizing it and making it actionable. And so like we got lucky because we bought all these cameras, and then we have a very simple data point, which is bookings.
Mm-hmm.
So we look and we go, I made this one choice to take a financial risk to get bookings. And then I got bookings.
Mm-hmm.
Easy. 1-to-1, very simple metric to measure. So I know for a fact that was a great decision. It doesn't matter how much it cost.
Yep. For us, we were like, by investing in this, we can do more events.
Yes.
That's probably not most people. Most people are like, if I buy this gear, will it allow me to make more money on the events I'm currently doing?
So that's you
let's
teed
talk
me
on that.
up perfectly, because this is really what I was getting at. What is the metric? At least know what the metric is. And I think that's the one thing we did right.
Yeah.
Is we knew the outcome that we were going to consider to be good out of this money we're spending, out of this budget item. We looked at the budget item and we said, for me to feel good about these cameras, I want to see, and I'm not sure this was even a good metric. Maybe we should have made a better metric. But it was basically, I want these cameras to pay for themselves. I'm pretty sure, thinking back, that was good enough for us.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not that's a good choice or not is not what I'm saying. I'm just saying what we said. We knew what we wanted.
Yeah.
And it's easy with certain things. The challenging thing with some budget items is, okay, we talk about gear. It's like we wanted more bookings and we got more bookings. It was a good choice. We're currently doing something which is a different type of choice and probably more in line with a lot of the budget item decisions that people have, which is when the return, when like the win criteria on the budget decision is much more abstract.
Mm-hmm.
So like you always say this, cameras look this way, the blacks are bad, the oranges are bad, the highlights, these issues with certain cameras, we'll say. I want these better cameras. We've always had better cameras, but if you don't know, we have a large business. We shoot a lot of weddings in a day. So if we send out 10 people, we have one brand that shoots on one of our wedding brands shoots on one camera brand, the cheaper ones. And another one of our brands shoots on another camera brand. That's currently. For a long time, though, we all shot on the same cameras, which was, I guess, by design, right, Jared? Because we wanted to have a more streamlined training process. Mm-hmm. But you didn't like how it looked. So,
well, yeah. And it was a multi-tiered decision because we started the other brand. We were like, what cameras do we have? We have the ones we have. So we're not going to make a huge business decision and a huge investment up front. Let's just spread them between the two, knowing that they would slowly start growing apart. Yeah. And as the businesses have matured, we're like transition a whole entire system over to one brand, and we had to forge a new system with our other brand.
And a new visual identity and all
the stuff.
A lot of things justifying a different price.
So we went with Lumix, which I would highly recommend to everyone out there, not just because they've been good to us, because I think for most people, the Lumix camera is probably the best camera for wedding filmmakers
check
right
out
now.
Our review.
Check out our reviews on YouTube on the Lumix S1 II. Phenomenal camera, open gate. Not Canon open gate, Lumix open gate, which is different. I would recommend you research it. But we have done that. We've made that move. We have 12 to 15 Lumix cameras at this point.
But we made a financial decision to pony up and invest in those things. And it was based on you saying, I think it doesn't, it was like nothing that I could actually prove. And I remember
it aligns with our brand goals though, because we were like, we want to raise prices for this one.
Sure.
So in order to do that, and I still will stand behind it. Like,
oh no, I think you're
it had to
right,
get
but I
better.
think the premise on the front end is what is it's hard to prove.
Right. Well,
It's like
sure.
like in order to like it's not a decision where like you say like because we didn't say like when we bought double kits when we first like expanded it was like shoot more weddings. This will allow us to do more. Look, the thing happened.
Yeah.
It's like
It will increase the quality so we can raise prices.
yes, but it's almost unfalsifiable in the sense that like you could say it's because we had Lumix, and you could also argue
Yeah.
we don't know.
Here's the
So-
thing with most decisions that I've seen from a business level is it's never the worst outcome and it's never the best outcome. It's somewhere in the middle.
Well, and also like
when we bought those cameras, yeah, you could say, oh, we could have done it with the cameras we were on currently. We could be at the price point that we're at, charging 5 figures for every single wedding with the current set. I don't think that's the case because
well, I'm not even arguing that it's the case at all. I'm saying
it's not best case. It's not automatic. You're not going to buy cameras and be able to raise your prices automatically. It's a culmination of a lot of things that go into it.
I'm just saying the person who's making the choice
Yeah.
can't know. Like
Sure.
you don't immediately have the data point that you will if your decision on a budget item has objective mile markers on did it work.
Yeah.
Like the knot's easy. You invest in the knot, then you see how many bookings you got,
Yes.
and then you see what did it make me money over the investment.
Yes. Yes.
It's very
yes,
simple.
Yeah.
Camera, most of your business decisions aren't simple in that way.
Yeah.
Like Engage, I would put in the same category.
Yeah.
Like if I go to Engage 4 times,
Yep.
like yes, if you went to Engage and every single time you went to Engage, you sat at dinner with someone and the person you sat next to booked you.
Yep.
Like the planner brought you on a wedding, and every year that happened, yes, I'm telling you, it's not how it happens.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're gonna go, you're gonna sit with someone, then you're gonna talk to another person, and then maybe someone's just gonna go like, I think I know that person. And it's
Yep.
like this very complicated,
Yep.
long play thing that can be really complicated. So many more of your business decisions are going to be in that category
Mm-hmm.
of your budgeting rather than the category of like, I spend $1, I make $2.
Mm-hmm.
That's how that's easy budgeting. That's
Yes.
what everybody
Yes.
wants to do. They want to go, I've invested in this and I made $10 off of it and look how much money, and I'm going to keep doing that.
Yep.
By the way, it's not even how it always works sometimes. That could be a false equivalency too. It could be a trap where you think like next year I'm going to do it. It's like, that's what happened to people during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
The next year they're thinking like, oh, I jacked up my prices and oh, people now view me this way. This is so great. They don't understand the market conditions. So
Totally.
it's like the budget is not there to validate your assumptions, even to tell you what to do, like all on its own. There's so much crap outside your budget, the market,
Sure.
AI, all these different things coming that affect you. So it can be hard to do. So I think those are the two kind of categories of these very like one-to-one. If I buy this, well, you know exactly what you're expecting to get out of that
Sure.
budget item. And then probably a third category is I have to do this, like pay insurance. You get nothing out of insurance. It's a scam.
It just goes up over and over
It's
and
just
over
a
again.
scam.
It dramatically goes up,
It's
and
a
you're
j-
not getting any other value out
And
of it.
every time you try to use it, they'll try to make it not work.
Yeah.
So it's a great thing. We love insurance.
We love American insurance. It's the best.
It's great. And good thing we have it
Yeah.
because of all the times I've used it in my 15 years.
Yeah.
It's been great.
Yeah.
Regardless, I have to do it.
Yeah.
So I have to do that. So there's a lot of that crap in your budget. But then most of your budget is abstract things that are like Jared's hunch that if I have better looking footage, people will notice it and then it will help us charge more. And so I guess I would say this. We're in the middle of that project right now. We're not even done. Next year, we're going to do more turnover on cameras and add more Lumix cameras. But for the most part this year, all our Stop Go Love weddings were shot on Lumix. What we're doing next year is more just adding more cameras, adding more capability. But
Yep. Bulking up a little bit.
I think everything was
Around
shot
the
on Lumix
edges.
for the most part, unless there was some
Yep.
problem.
Yep.
What is your kind of like in the middle of this decision? We made a budgetary decision last year, buy a bunch of lenses and cameras. How did it go?
So the way I felt last year, before we made a full switch over to Lumix, is I felt like we were bursting at the seams. We had huge demand. tons of people wanted us for high budget weddings. And I felt like it was necessary to be at least on par with what other people were doing. So that's an advantage that we had that I don't think a lot of people, and not everyone out there, will have. We knew that as soon as we invested in this, it would only increase the quality. And immediately, when we started producing films in our busy season in May, we started cranking out teasers and designer reels and all these things for planners. The thing that multiple planners said to us was, you guys are killing it this year. You guys are crushing it. This is in May of this year. Was that due to Lumix? I think so, a little bit.
I don't think you could prove otherwise. I think you would, if you.
We are doing things more intentionally, and we're gradually growing, and we're having these internal conversations.
Yeah, because the challenge part is like we didn't just get Lumix. So it's like what is Jordan Peterson's multivariate analysis?
Sure.
It was like, yes, we got Lumixes. We also shot differently. We're did social differently.
We're doing more cameras. We're investing in having more assistants on site. So like it's just like
we bought Lumix
away.
Because we knew the weddings were going to be better this year. So the weddings are better. So it's just like
immediately though, what people are seeing is, wow, this is way better,
and saying
it to us, and our prices are kind of staying the same, and so that when we raise prices midsummer for us, that's usually when we do it, midsummer for the next booking season, it isn't like out of nowhere. It's out of those guys got better, they're charging more. So it's like there's a correlation between the two. So I think we were able to raise prices directly due to those cameras. Now I think this is the important, thing to keep in mind as you are continuing your journey and gathering gear. Like I said before, it's not automatic, but also there's a law of diminishing return there, right? Like if I was to go all out and buy 7 of the best Sony cameras out there, would I be able to charge more money? I don't necessarily think so.
No, and also like there's a time in your career where you're not positioned to take advantage of every decision you make.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I think we were able to like raise prices by like 20% due to an increase in our quality, but for the extra 1%, that better camera, like if you're going to shoot on all red cameras, I don't think we would be able to charge more just because we went twice as big. Like maybe you would be able to charge an extra 3%, 1%, maybe 0 if we were to go that route. So you have to make smart decisions along the way.
Yeah,
right?
well, and so let's first start with this. You're always making assumptions. It's important to document your assumptions in one way or the other and know what your assumptions are so that when you back to the budget, which you can go to weddingfilms.school/resources and download it, your budget is the thing that helps you validate your assumptions. Mm-hmm. That's the purpose of it. So the business owner is the human. You're almost like a business artist, and you're applying you're forcing your will upon the business to be what it is that you want. And you're making choices that are not provable mm-hmm. until you make them.
Yeah.
And even after 3 years of data, like we have I believe that Jared is correct that by having better cameras, that it has helped us because right now we just jacked up our prices. Not right now, but we
jacked them up.
Well, quite a bit.
20%.
Yeah, we went up a lot. And, I'm not sure Jared even had a sense of like, Jared needed to do that. Jared needed, and I don't think he was wrong, but as a salesperson, and you could do these things as a business. I feel like, Jared, you felt a lack of confidence to push a better price with those cameras because you knew it didn't measure up and it was hard for you to sell.
I am, by the way, we always say like we love to buy gear. Jay and I are very conservative when it comes to finances. I am always super hesitant to raise prices.
Doomerish is what it is.
Yeah. Every year
we're not conservative. Like we'll
and
spend $400 on a dinner, but we're always thinking like, oh my God, I can't believe I was able to eat this $400 dinner off my $1 million business.
Yeah.
Like that's the way to think about it. Is like, we are always like, everything's not going to work. Every piece of marketing we invest in, we're very about like, we want to get our bag. We want to get ours. We want to guarantee that we're not going to go out of business. So yes, we'll spend money, but we, like you said, and some people would consider, oh, that's not conservative. Look at all the things you spent money on. No, we have our crap in line though. And like, when we put our business together, the very first thing we're going every year when we do our planning is like, okay, first things first, how do we not go out of business?
Yeah. I would
Although
say
people would never think about going out of business, and we're always like, every year could be the year. Is this the year?
Yeah.
Is this the year? No one calls us again. Like, that's how we view it.
Yep. Yeah, no, totally. When I say we're conservative, I'm saying whenever we make a big decision, it's almost because we're forced to make it now.
That's probably true.
Like doing Lumix, we could have done, stayed in that, world of like, 4-figure, price tag, like, and I think it would have harmed our business because everything else is going up in cost. Like, we were forced to have to make that decision if we want to have long-term health.
And again, this is Jared's assessment.
Yeah.
This isn't necessarily true. I think he's right, by the way.
Yeah.
I would agree with him.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like,
there's no trackable data.
It's very hard. Like, no, you shouldn't hold yourself to that standard when you're doing budgeting, that like only one-to-one budgeting decisions are the ones you respect. Some level you have to respect that you know what you're talking about.
Yeah. The proof is in the pudding of like, where are we right now?
Every little thing. So that's my question.
And it worked.
We made these decisions.
Yeah.
First and foremost, the weddings look nicer.
Yeah.
So
I would say we didn't screw ourselves by making that decision.
No, we know for a fact about that.
At the very least, we didn't screw ourselves. We aren't going out of business because we made a $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 decision.
Yeah, here's the result.
Yeah.
The result has been we have gotten compliments from wedding planners who we want to compliment us.
Who continue to hire us.
We have been hired by some new planners, which, again, they hired us off old footage, so I guess. But they called us again after we shot the weddings, and they're trying us again.
Yep.
And so that's been good. I think Jared and I have had a little more confidence, so we've been pushing stuff out more, so that's been good. I don't know that our actions would have been the same.
Yep.
But the number one thing is we did raise our prices, like you said, 20%, and people kept paying for it. And maybe it was a confidence thing where Jared was like, oh, I just don't, like, maybe everyone would have paid the same price and we're both wrong. We'll never know. That's not the goal with your business, is to know every outcome and then choose out of two known outcomes which one you want. You're always really just going based on my expertise and knowledge, based on the market, based on everything I have available to me. I think this is what's going to happen. And then picking an option.
Yep.
So we picked this option, and hey, like you said, at the very least, it didn't screw us, but I think we have very good evidence based on everything we see.
Yep.
Because we projected it. We're like, here's what it's going to let us do. And how's it going?
Yep. Yeah. Can we talk a little bit about the worksheet that you're going to send everyone? Because I think that's honestly probably the place for most people. If you're not used to budgeting, or maybe you have a budget, but it's just kind of like in your head or something, like, what will the sheet that we're sending out kind of like help people with?
So the way it's structured is kind of the way I think about money, which is, first and foremost, I do a lot of projections. And I know this is challenging, and I would love to do a coaching call with you, because if you're listening, because I like to help people learn how to make projections for their wedding business, because there's a lot of historical track records you can use of yourself, of others, all these things. But essentially, there's this aspect of it, which is projected revenue and projected cost, and then a tool for tracking actual cost. And we do, probably the biggest thing for these people is that all the equations are baked in, so they don't need to know how to use.
Well, I think for a lot of people, just the structure.
Yeah, it's structured, but it also has all like the summing and averaging and anything like that built in, which I think is that's a major barrier for some people, is like they don't feel like they're good at math. All you need to do on this one is just put numbers in.
Yep.
You don't need to know how to use a spreadsheet.
Yep.
Anything.
Yep.
And the actual most of it is just putting down what happened. The hard part is guessing. And I think like the real skill, people who are really good with money are really good at guessing.
Yeah.
They're really good at like taking the
Well, it's
available
informed guessing.
Yes, it's not guessing. They
Yeah.
take available information and they go, I mean, we talk about gambling from sometimes, and I always think about slot machines. Like, obviously, slot machines are not good financial advice, right? Because this very specific reason. Is it at all likely that if I put $1 million in, that I would make a profit? No. It's designed to not be that way. And the fact that if there are 100 people that put $1 million into a slot machine and one of them makes 10 million, that doesn't mean that it's a good thing to do.
It means it's a bad thing to do. Actually.
Yes, and it's fine if you think it's fun and
Yeah.
you're just having a nice time at a slot. I'm not like making a moral judgment.
All you millionaires out there who thinks it's fun losing $1 million at the
Yeah.
casino.
Yeah, I'm saying
Aiden.
there's a reason why people don't go like, oh, I know what we can do.
Yeah.
Like it's the classic like comedy dad in a movie like, honey, I'm going to save our finances. And they go to the casino and they lose it all. And it's like just like a quick shot of them losing it all.
Yeah.
I think that's literally a Family Guy episode.
Yeah.
You know, it's definitely a South Park episode. Regardless, it's like there's a reason why we don't do that because we know it's likely not going to work. The numbers are stacked against you. That's not what it means to run a business. It's not like that. It's like more like if it was 10% of the people who spend $1 million, or if the more money you put into a slot machine, it increased your odds, right? If every time you put $1,000 in a slot machine, you got 1% higher odds to make $1 million, you would be an idiot not to put $100,000 into every slot machine you ever walked by.
Depends what the payout was, I guess.
$1 million. If every $100,000 you spent on the slot machine,
the
you
odds
made
are
$1
good.
million.
Yeah.
But until you spent 100, you didn't tip the odds. You should spend $100,000. You should go in ready to drop 100K. And if you make that $1 million on 40K, then you walk away. But that's not how it is. But it's also not like that with a business. A business is closer to like 50-50 a lot of times. Like we were like, when we thought about raising prices, we didn't just say like, we're going to buy the cameras and then we're going to raise prices because of the cameras.
Right.
We said, well, we have good weddings. Those people have access to good weddings. So those people are expecting a better quality film. Our market is going this way. We dropped this. It's a composite of a multiplicity of factors that made that a good budgeting choice. Not just, oh, it's going to take us to the next level. And like, did you see that last film by like Le Rêve? It was so nice. We need to keep up with them. That's not what it is.
This is the other aspect of gear buying specifically when you're considering your budget is you can always sell gear. Gear has value.
Yep.
You can always be like, that didn't work. Let's sell it all, take the money back, and do what we were doing. Like, so that's a reality to keep in mind as well. It's not like marketing where it's like we took some risks doing some different marketing things this year, and I'm like, I think it's probably like a 20% chance, 30% chance it will pay off, but the reward is very high.
Do you have a call, Jared? Do you have anything you got to go do?
Eventually.
So I was going to say, because I think we have to keep talking about this a little bit, so I don't want to rush. And I was going to say to people, like,
1:45, so I have another hour.
yeah, we won't do an hour, but we're like getting to that hour-long point. So if we do an hour and 20, it's fine. Joe does 3 hours, so I don't think we could do 3 hours on this
Are
topic.
you talking about
Joe
Joe?
Rogan.
You use Joe?
Yeah, he's my buddy.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, like Joe Rogan does 3 hours, so I think we could do an hour and 20 minutes.
Oh, I'm budgeting though.
Well, so what do you think is the stupidest thing? Like, what are some stupid decisions that we've made where you learned like that was not like we talked about two decisions I think that were a little risky.
Yeah.
Maybe different. Like one is very objective, like 1-to-1.
Just specific gear that we spent money on?
It could be other things. Like I'll give a networking, not on a specific networking thing, a networking thing that you'll know what I'm talking about, but I wouldn't talk.
Great.
And then and gear is fine too.
Gear, specifically the Kessler crane.
I wouldn't agree with. Oh, the Crane. Yes, because company used to be called Kessler Crane.
Kessler crane, the Hercules tripod.
Yes.
And I think that was one of our first big business decisions back in 2011 to 2012 that we bought. It was like a $5,000 rig, I think. No, not as much.
Like,
3,000.
It was like $1,500.
That's it.
Yeah, it wasn't that expensive.
But for the full rig, I think it was.
Here's the thing
it was
about
a lot.
it. I don't know it all or remember it all.
Yeah.
All I know is that we used it. We spent, I think, whatever it cost out of a $10,000 gig to buy it. I remember that.
Yeah, because we were like, this is a cool piece of gear. Again, at that point, we were just buying stuff because we were
Well, and
like,
also we wanted to do
this
more
is
commercial
cool.
work at the beginning, so we bought it for a commercial job.
we bought
that
it for a big commercial job for the National Kidney Foundation, and I remember setting it up near a bridge in the middle of
And
winter.
it was our opening shot.
And it was the opening shot, and now I'd be like, that shot's
See,
terrible.
I would argue that I don't think that was.
I don't
that
think
big
we
of a
made that.
decision.
We didn't. It wasn't that big of an awe shot that people would know it's different than just standing on a bridge doing it handheld.
But I think
Maybe.
it was a much higher quality of like cinema. Like this was before gimbals, guys, and drones. So like that shot, I do think made an impact to the people who watched it.
Maybe.
and maybe like it helped us.
But again, it's not something that you can necessarily. We are having a
See, I think
disagreement on it.
we talk about the Kessler all the time because it's such a stupid thing now.
Well, and it's literally sitting in our back warehouse right now.
Yeah, but there's probably dumber things. Like I would say this. I'll give you one gear and one other non-gear financial investment. And one of them is like, in hindsight, it was stupid. And one of them, I'm like, we should have known this was stupid.
Yeah.
I remember when we bought the Blackmagic, the little pocket camera,
Oh yeah.
or the original Sony A7 III or A7.
A7S2.
I don't remember. Yeah, A7S2. Those were very stupid for a different reason. They were stupid because we didn't even try to use them. And we have tons of these decisions. Things that you don't even have time to vet their validity. You didn't like we have a podcast and YouTube channels, so for us to buy stupid gear sometimes we have different reasons. So like maybe it'd be a cool video. So like
Well, it's educational for us to be like, hey, let's compare this to what we have, and then we can do a video on it.
sure. But
Or we get sent a lot of gear. So
But there are plenty of gear that we buy that I'm like, don't have time to even use, have no, like, I shouldn't have bought it because I wasn't going to be able to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Or like, I just bought it and then wasted it.
Yep.
Like that pocket cinema camera. Like, I didn't even try to learn to grade the log. I just remember like getting it and going like, I don't want to deal with this. And then we didn't even sell it. It's just sitting here.
yeah,
We let it sit around for like 10 years.
I think you sold it.
Did I sell? I think I did sell
You
it.
sold it, and you sold it. Did you sell it with the? I think you took off the cage we got for it because it was a logo.
Yeah, the custom
cage.
cage. That's the thing. We bought this camera. We bought a custom cage with our logo on it, and we never used it really. We used it like one or two times. This is exactly the way you are, listener. This is the actual things that hurts people's businesses.
Yeah.
Buying things that they don't use.
Yep.
Not even like having an implementation plan.
Yeah.
You don't have time for it. Like I would say like, and then the other thing is like in hindsight things where you go like, it could be good. So it's like things you should have never bought and you could have known you shouldn't have bought them based on the fact that you weren't going to do it. You don't have time for it. And then things that you bought that you shouldn't buy again. And I would say that would be like networking events that suck.
Yeah.
That you always keep going to and you keep your membership and all that stuff. And every year the people are like, hey, you going to be a member again?
Yeah.
And if you don't know, these are things like, and these are not good or bad. I'm just saying here's like WIPA and I guess Engage, even though they don't have memberships, but like it's a big networking, whatever it is that you're a part of, some professional group. Some of them you need to drop. And because if you're a member, you go and you don't make any money, or you go and you don't like it, or you go and you think everything those people are talking about, I don't agree with.
Yep.
We have made some really dumb decisions with that where we don't do it anymore though, but we would like keep paying for memberships on things because we didn't want to have, honestly, like we didn't want to offend the person.
Yep.
Like we didn't want to have an uncomfortable conversation where we say, we're not going to up our membership again. because they know some people we know, and I know some people, and we don't want them to tell everyone.
Yeah.
Or like, but in reality, it's like we've been going to this networking thing with our time and our money for a long time, and we've done a lot of that. But we're better at it now, right?
Yep. There's a piece of gear that we got last year that I love, and I wish I had it at every wedding, and I think we're going to kit out our gear, if you agree. The Aperture MC Pro, that little light,
Sure.
love that thing. It's an expensive little LED light, but it is great.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I was like, I want to play around with this.
But you didn't love it when I bought the old version, and you didn't want to use it.
Not it wasn't that one you bought.
They're all
though.
the same.
They're not. Like, you can't control the DJI.
But you can the hobo light. My point here's what I'm going to say with Jared. He's right. Everything he's saying is right.
Yeah.
What I think you're missing is it wasn't a cool trend to have. It wasn't on trend to get that look for a while. So that look, it's sophisticated. It's challenging. Like, because you're looking and going, this light is great for a lot of reasons, but one of them is like this direct lit dance floor look is on trend now. We've used it a lot in a lot of different settings.
I hated it for a lot of reasons, because it was a proprietary battery. Sucks. Stupid. Why would anyone design that? Why are you designing that? But also
probably money. Actually, the number one reason why that is a lot of times the shape of the battery. They need to make stuff small. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. But then also app control. None of them have real good app control.
Yeah, there's a lot of issues
like
with them.
The Aperture is great. That thing is mint. I love that thing. You're probably right. You know, I don't even really use it on the dance floor. Like, I don't.
Whatever it is, my point is, like, there's something that you're able to do that you're reading the tea leaves and like you like it and it looks good.
Mm-hmm.
But if everyone's like, oh, that's a bad look, you wouldn't like it anymore.
Yep.
And so it's one of those things where it's like you have to just acknowledge that there's things out of your control that help you evaluate the value. I agree with you, by the way.
Yeah. But that was like a good decision. It was like we tested out, and I was like, oh, if I don't like it, I'll sell it quick. We love it. You know, that was a good risk, small risk that we took.
Very
$200.
But it's but I like your example because
Yeah.
I think that's a lot of people. Like, when you're making your budget, and we'll actually talk about budget before we go, but you're making your budget, you're factoring in all the things, like you said, the stuff you have to buy, the stuff that you want to buy that's fun, the stuff that you want to buy that you are trying to track but one category is the stuff that you spend money on that you honestly think is going to make you more money. And sometimes small incremental investments, you don't have to go all in on things. Like that's a smart strategy. Is like, yes, it's sometimes you go all in because you feel like, I would say with our cameras, we were very confident that if we improved those cameras, that everything would get better. We're pretty confident. Like, if we were like measuring, like, if I was to say like, hey, 1 to 10, Jared, what do you think the likelihood, 10 being the most likely, that buying all these Lumix cameras is going to improve your ability to sell this and make us more money? You probably would have said like 9.
Yeah, 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. I would say like a piece of gear like that, if you would have said like, oh, the Aperture, 1 out of 10, what do you think it's going to, like, what's going to be the impact?
Oh, yeah, that was probably more like a 4 out of 10, 5 out of 10. Like,
you would have been like,
shot.
But it's such a low amount of money that you can take that risk.
The risk reward is good.
It's low. It's like, it's not like when you're making choices, you shouldn't be just.
And also, I think there's something to be said.
Grade on a curve is what I'm saying.
This is the emotional side. Is there something to be said about like a small investment being fun and making it so that you're more driven to try something new and just have fun making wedding films?
You should have things in your budget. You need to budget, and you need to know all your things you must do so that you know, like, you shouldn't take all your profit. I really don't believe that. I think like you should do it because the business needs it, but also you need it.
Yep.
You need to force yourself not to eat everything that you take home.
Yep.
Because that's what it'll do. It'll just go straight in your mouth, and you know what happens when you eat something.
And
like, you need to invest it in a way that makes it fun to do the business, but with limited risk.
we're talking very specifically about kind of reinvesting in the wedding industry. I think a lot of people out there too are in the wedding industry. They're making money. Maybe they have a little chunk of profit. Maybe you're making this decision because you're like, I want to expand and get into the commercial space. And that's the risk you're taking. Like, that's a very probably plausible reason why people would invest in themselves, try to make a little bit of money doing weddings. If you're trying to get out of the wedding industry, that's your investment. Great. Like that's probably going to be a good choice for you in the long run. I would say.
Yeah, look, that person should buy a red.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Or they should buy a rig.
Let me say it this way.
Buy more
that
commercial
person
stuff.
There's a person who, there's no reason you need a red to shoot weddings.
Yeah, no.
But,
diminishing return.
Yes, and it's not going to make enough. But if you had a red.
Actually, most people who have reds don't do good wedding films.
I would say.
From what I've seen, if you have a wedding that you shot on a red that you're like, hey, this is better than what these two idiots on a podcast are talking about. I mean, send it our way.
A red,
I haven't seen it yet.
Like an Arri Alexa, like they're not ideal for shooting weddings. But say you're like, weddings are bankrolling my commercial business.
Yeah.
So I'm using my wedding revenue to pay for these cameras that I need, and then I'm doing commercial.
I have a good example.
Blah 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 blah.
No.
So it's like everyone's business is different. Is my point. Like when Jared said earlier, like don't buy a red. He was talking specifically about his business and probably your business.
Sure.
He wasn't saying, though, there isn't a person. And so, like, you have to know your business better than a podcaster knows your business. Yeah. I'm sorry, guys. Like, if we say the wrong thing or it's not totally contextual to what your goals are, obviously, you should, if you live near, like, and I don't know, Yellowstone, and we're telling you, like, yeah, elopements, it's dumb. You're never going to make a living off elopements. You might.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I won't, and most of our listeners won't, but it's like if you don't have enough brains to like hear someone talk about something and they understand that we're trying to be conceptual. Mm-hmm. And I think the concept is still good.
We did something that I think is a little bit more relevant and maybe more one-to-one on this exact topic. We bought these Lumixes. They're great. They worked out. We knew that it was a 9 out of 10 opportunity. Before that, what did we do? We bought Blackmagic cameras. We rigged them out with the Tilta handles, with the focus. What are those called?
They have like the nucleus like focus rolling handles on like cinema lenses.
Yeah, on cinema lenses, on Canon Cine lenses, C-glass, and that didn't work well. We're out there shooting we bought a Ursa Mini Pro, and I'm putting that on a gimbal. Like a 30-pound rig, 20-pound rig on a gimbal with focus rolling. That was stupid of us. And at the time, we were like, oh, let's just upgrade. I don't know. Maybe it'll make us more money. That was a learning experience for us. So when it informed my decision on the Lumix, because I was like, strip down, smaller, bodies, smaller form factor, great lenses.
But also, we didn't have the weddings to capitalize on an improved look.
Right.
That was the real issue. It was like, you're gonna learn as you run your business. So like the reason why budgeting is so important, mm-hmm. You need to give yourself time and margin to make major mistakes.
Yep.
You can't afford your business to be so tight because you ate you took everything that you made and you destroyed it by spending it.
Yep.
That you can't make a major mistake and recover. And so we dropped $15,000 on lenses, no more. 24, I think.
Yeah. Those lenses
on
aren't
those
cheap.
lenses, probably
$4 or $5 each.
We bought a $16,000.
We have since sold those.
Yes, we bought a $16,000 Mac Pro.
Yep.
And we bought
huge investment, huge.
And we bought, I think, $8,000 to $10,000, no more, probably $20,000 worth of Blackmagic cameras. Mm-hmm. And when we already had a lot of the lenses,
which you're watching on right now.
Yeah,
you're on YouTube. Yeah,
they've just become our podcast
our
cameras.
Blackmagics,
and I love those Blackmagic cameras. By the way, they're great cameras.
They're great, not great for weddings.
But the point is not even that they're not great for weddings. It's because if me and you, they look better than Fuji. Mm-hmm. And if me and you brought them to Huxley weddings and shot on them, it would look better.
Perfectly fine.
It would look great. It would be a good look. Even if it looked better, nobody was looking at us. We didn't need to look better. Mm-hmm. We weren't there yet. Yep. It wasn't the right investment. Yep. We should have invested, and like we couldn't have known. Yep. And also, and this is the other side of budgeting, is we bought that stuff directly before COVID.
Yeah.
Literally, I had just dropped $60,000 to $80,000 in February of 2020.
Yep.
And so that was totally out of our control.
Mm-hmm.
And I place a lot of the blame on what happened with those cameras and Huxley Film, by the way, on COVID, the timing of everything, because like right when we were launching, I was like delivering the film in the middle of doing it in LA when COVID dropped.
Yep.
When everyone's like, they turned off all the airports.
Yep.
And I was like, are we going to get out of here? All that junk. I knew right there, I was like, this is over.
Yep.
This thing that we're trying to do, this new luxury brand that we're trying to launch.
Yeah, I think you're totally right.
It's going to be screwed for the next 2 years. There's nothing we can do about it. So here's the key. Because I budgeted, I didn't give up on it. Because I knew this isn't real data. This data isn't telling me what I think it's telling me. It's not telling me I can't have a luxury brand or I can't sell weddings for what I want to sell them for.
Yeah.
It's telling me a lot of other stuff. And I think that's where people struggle with their budgets.
Yep.
Is like crap happens. They don't know how to read the data.
This is another really important key that we haven't hit on is let your budget or let your the equipment that you're buying in your budget eventually become profitable for you. Like we just bought all this equipment. It's paid itself off because we made a good decision and it was a good decision. It's paid itself off. I'm not going out and buying all new stuff right now.
No.
I'm letting that equipment be profitable for me for probably the next 3-4 years before we make another big move. Now is the time for us to just capitalize on it and make profit on it. So that when we're talking about these decisions, like we usually are like, I'm not going out and buying the brand new camera that's going to come out probably this next year. Probably. Maybe I buy one to just check it out.
If it did something that we thought, but even then, like you said, we'd buy one.
Yeah. We
would come up with an intentional structure to evaluate, do we think it's actually going to help us? And then we would buy a lot. In this case, we bought one S1, 2.
Yep. Tested it. Liked it.
Said this is going to make us a lot of money. This is how. Then we bought more, and then we'll probably buy more. And now we know. And it's like, you don't. I mean, I think that's why, back to what I said a few minutes ago, like why it's so important not to first of all, to actually know your numbers.
Yep.
And second of all, to track them so that way, as you make these kind of decisions, like you actually know what the level of risk is.
Yep.
Because it's like risking 10 grand could be devastating or nothing, depending on who you are and what your situation is. But it's certainly, if you're losing 10 grand, you should know it.
Yep. Totally. So let's wrap this up unless you have anything else you want to mention.
No,
Jason.
I just,
any other great pointers?
Well, I just wanted to end with saying the point of this podcast was not to tell you how to budget. It was more to just get the thought in your brain and talk about some of the things we think are important about it. And really, I guess more how to like make risky decisions that will be expansive in your business and and that's why I like budgeting. And this is what I'll say to you guys. I like the safety of it. So I like knowing that I can take risks.
It's the thing that allows you to sleep at night.
Yes.
Like instead of letting your business run you, you are running your business because you can make informed decisions at the end of the day.
And I can fail and it doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
Like if we
it would bother you.
Well, it bothers
it's just
me
not going to make it so your
competitively.
family's on the street.
No, it doesn't. I am not like, it's one thing to say like, oh, sometimes it doesn't bother me at all, by the way, because I don't care. But sometimes I care. It depends on what it is. But like if we bought those Lumix cameras and we didn't raise prices, I probably would have been like, that is bad, and I would have been really bothered. If we bought that Aperture and then it just sat in the room and we never used it, the little MC Pro light, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't even. I would be like, oh, I guess that didn't work out.
Yep.
Right? But like those little things, when you talk to people who are struggling financially with their business, they'll bring up a lot of those things. And they're not right. Like, I'm like, okay, so how much are you short? Like, what was your net negative on the year? 10 grand, or I made like whatever. And I'm like, that was $300. You're telling me 10 grand and like $300 is why?
Mhm.
No, you have a bigger problem
Yep.
than a $300 light. But I guess what I'm really saying to you is the point of budgeting is to make it so you can focus on your work and your art and not have to think about, should I have bought a $300 light? It shouldn't matter.
Yeah.
You should have a bunch of little failures in your business that just don't matter. You don't even like, because you know what's going on. And like, I look at the big number and some of the category numbers. I don't look at every line item.
Yeah.
Really. Like, there's probably like every once in a while I'll go back and look over everything we spent and figure out every little expense. But like, that's not something we do all the time. Go through every single
No, once or twice a year.
And we don't really ever do that.
Yeah.
Go through every expense. We're not saying you need to do that.
Yeah.
That's not what we're saying. We're saying give yourself big data and a big enough number with really good organization so that you know when you need to really fine tooth comb it, and ultimately really so you can stop thinking about it. Because the real point is, like, if I look at my numbers now, a lot of times I'll go like, we're good, moving on, working on my other stuff.
Yeah.
Like-
For all of us who have like ADHD, like it's a tab you can close. So
Yeah, and I think that's what we're really trying to. I want to I want to sell it on you. If you're listening, I want to tell you, like, this is gonna make your life so much better. Like, you're gonna make so much better decisions, and I promise you, if you do this well, you'll buy more equipment. You'll take more risks. You'll do more of what you already want to be doing that you think you shouldn't do because of finances.
Yep. So guys, weddingfilm.school/resources. That's where you're going to find this worksheet that Jay's talking about for your budgeting. If you want to hop on a call with Jason and talk through your budget, I would say you should probably fill out that form first. It's a free form. You're welcome, internet.
It's a free download.
Free download.
A form. Well, it's a form that gives
It's a Google
you
form, isn't it?
but it gives you a PDF.
Oh, it's a PDF version.
Not a PDF. You download it's an XLS.
Okay. Yeah. Which it's not a form.
A form is what you fill out to give me the information to allow you to download.
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
You do need to fill the form out, though.
You're right. Hop on a coaching call with Jason if this is something
That's
that you're struggling
purchased
with.
elsewhere on the site, but
Yep,
you can
yep.
see. I think it says coaching. So just click
Coaching,
on that.
and that's a great way that you can educate yourselves. Even though we're not necessarily huge fans of like the educator world, where I think it's a lot of wasted money. Having a one-on-one with Jason, I can promise you won't be a waste of money. Will really make you think very clearly and deeply about your business. Check us out on Facebook. That's where you can find the broader wedding film community, one of the biggest in the world. And check out our 3 YouTube channels: Wedding Film School, the Wedding Film School Show, which this show is located, as well as Wedding Film 101. That's our YouTube channels for beginners. If you're just getting started, hope you guys have a great week. Good luck out there, and we'll see you next week on the Wedding Film School Show.